Makoam Herimba, Kinumamkima, the Taikiham Turkabe, Sherwef Tuhutitewem. You know, the history of my people, the Tiwa Indians, it is Texas history. And all Texans should know our history. Because it is their history as well. Our original homeland is the Pueblo of Isleta. The Spanish had entered the American Southwest in 1598, and after 82 years of Spanish subjugation, my people decided to revolt. The 1680 Pueblo Revolt is a watershed year. The Spanish were under imminent attack from the Indians. So the Spanish figured out, you know what, if we kind of use them as hostages, they will assure us our safe trip back to the El Paso area. It displaced us from our original homeland. And we have been surviving and living here in the El Paso area for a little over 340 years. The traditions that we developed before the revolt, when we were at the Mother Pueblo, they became very, very crucial for us to keep those traditions alive. When we were brought here, we started bleeding the Rio Grande for water to reintroduce traditional planting methods to the area. The acequia system provided a great opportunity for planting their gardens. Grapes, fruit trees, corn, beans, and squash. A lot of Spanish reports saying that, the Pueblo at Isleta grew the finest grapes, produced the finest wine, had the best gardens, and had the best fruit trees available. Similar to our homeland, we built the Pueblo around the church. The church here at Isleta is the oldest church in the state of Texas. It was built in 1682, and it still stands to this day. All of the original structures were made out of adobe bricks, including the church. Oh yeah, these walls are between 4 and 5 feet thick, which prevents the sun from actually radiating its heat all the way through the walls. Constantly cool in the summer, and you can easily heat it up in the winter. Catholicism reached the Pueblos in the late 16th century, and it's been part of our culture since then. When the Spanish first came here, they told us the story of St. Anthony. So we accepted St. Anthony as the patron saint of our Pueblo. The Feast of St. Anthony, that is the most important day of the year for the Pueblo, religiously. Hueco tanks provided a good water source. These stone rocks, after millions of years of rain, they kind of created almost like a water container, but made out of a rock. It would rain, and then the water would pour down the side of the rock, and then would just go into this hueco here. That would supply the inhabitants with an abundance of water. It was a place where we would gather medicinal plants to heal us, edible plants to feed us, hunt the deer that grew up there. And it provided a space for conducting ceremonies. This is a metate. It is a grinding tool that my people used to use to grind medicinal plants. I mean, you can tell that this has been worked for hundreds of years, man. Look at the depth. The evidence is in the walls, man. All our pictographs, our petroglyphs are there. They left their story, they left their mark. This is a map back home to our mother Pueblo, the Pueblo of Isleta. The outer portion represents the sun, and then this little crooked little arrow here represents the Rio Grande. This one right here. The traditions, the culture survived, our way of life survived. We carved a new home here. We evolved into becoming a tribe that became federally recognized in the late 1980s, that provided the opportunity for us to be first and foremost recognized as Native Americans, and second, to provide us the opportunity to protect our natural resources. In our community, we strive to teach the history, the culture, and the traditions of the Pueblo. In the 1960s, when we started connecting with the New Mexico Pueblos, we came to realize that we were one and the same, even though we've been separated, but we had maintained our cultural identity. Traditional pottery painting, drum making, traditional dances. We continue those to this day. Also, teaching the language to my fellow tribal members is very, very important. There's a Native American language that dies every day. So for us, language preservation is very, very, very important for the Pueblo. We are the oldest continuous tribe within the El Paso area that maintained our culture and our language, and we still do. In keeping those traditions alive, we remember our ancestors.